In the headlines, INEC presents certificate of return to President-elect and Vice President-elect in Abuja. Labour Party heads to court to challenge election outcome. Reactions continue to trail former President Obasanjo's call for cancellation of election. And on the foreign scene, Sudan police kill protester in anti-military demonstrations. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. And now the news in detail. The Independent National Electoral Commission on Wednesday presented certificates of return to the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima at the International Conference Center in Abuja. The presentation by the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, came a few hours after Tinubu was declared the winner of the Saturday, February 25th poll after garnering 8,794,726 votes to defeat his closest rival, Atiku Abubakar of the PDP, who scored 6,984,520. Tinubu, the All Progressives Congress flag bearer, emerged victorious in a keenly contested race that was his first shot at the nation's top job.
To my supporters, I ask you to continue to have faith in the mission that we have articulated. Though those who didn't support me, I ask that you not allow the disappointment of this moment to keep you from realizing the historic national progress we can make by working together. I may be the president in election, but I need you more important.
Winner of the 2023 presidential election, Bola Tinubu, has promised to build a brighter and more productive society with renewed hope. The president-elect made the statement immediately after his declaration of winner of the election by INEC chairman Mahmoud Yakubu. Kabir Lawal reports.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu commended Nigerians for participating in the electoral process that culminated into his emergence as winner. He promised to be a fair leader to all Nigerians and will be in tune with Nigerians' aspirations.
This is a serious mandate. I hereby accept it. That mandate to serve you, be your servant, and not be your leader, to work with you and make Nigeria a great country.
Tinubu extends hand of fellowship to his co-contestants, saying it is time for political conciliation and inclusive governance.
To appeal to my fellow contestants to let us team up together. It is the only nation we have. It is one country that we must build together. We work together to put broken pieces together. We must work for the unity, happiness, and harmony.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu will succeed President Muhammadu Buhari as the 16th Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on May 29th. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
2023 presidential and National Assembly elections have come and gone, leaving behind many surprises and twists, especially on its conduct and outcome. Some Katsina residents speak on the challenges and lessons learned during the most anticipated elections. Abdullahi Yamadi reports that though the elections were conducted across the 34 local government areas of the state, it was marred by several cases of violence and infractions. The report.
Many Katsina residents believed that a lot needs to be done to educate eligible voters on how to cast their votes to avoid the increasing number of invalid and rejected votes during elections. Experts said The number of invalid and rejected votes recorded during last Saturday's presidential and National Assembly elections are alarming and therefore must be corrected.
We need a serious voter education for people to know that yes, their vote counts, and without you coming out, you don't have any reason to come and be complaining of those that emerge as a winner. The number of those people that comes out are very, very small, negligible, which means the political parties didn't even make a very good handwork.
Another problem noticed during the elections was voter inducement by political actors, which called for concerted efforts to address such problem, undermining the nation's democratic process.
Yeah, this time around, they even went back to inducing people with millet, soap, and other things, because there was no money to give. Really, votes were bought, but very, very insignificant as it used to consider, if one consider how it used to be. So I believe there is hope, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
On the Beavers malfunction, Katsina residents are of the view that INEC should learn from the mistakes made to improve in the governorship and state assembly elections coming up in few days. A political expert from Umaru Musa Yar'Adua University, Katsina, Dr. Jamilu Charanchi, warned Nigerians against voting based on religion or ethnicity.
In that respect, we can say yes, the issue of religious politics is more pronounced this time around than before, because earlier on you see PDP is a kind of the party that harmonize both the two religions. Similarly, the APC, but the Labour Party is even more handled by the Christians, and that is why they are not more getting bought from the more of northern state where the Muslims are dominant. So this should be the issue. That is what surprised people.
However, observers described all the hurdles experienced as strong learning tools towards strengthening the process in the future. Abdullahi Ismail Ahmadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Following the declaration of APC candidate Bola Tinubu as winner of the presidential election, many Nigerians have been reacting to the outcome of the election. Noel Samson reports that some Abuja residents want the president-elect to pursue national political conciliation to consolidate the nation's democratic trajectory. The report.
A two-day marathon of collection exercise at the International Conference Center culminates into declaration of Bola Tinubu as winner of the presidential election held on Saturday, February 25th. Some Nigerians speak on the outcome and the process preceding it.
Actually, as a youth, I am not happy with the result, especially what the INEC do. But there's no way about it. As the new president, I promise that, according to Tinubu, that 4 years going to be 4 years. Let's keep that promise.
In fact, we actually played the role of casting our vote for who we wanted to rule us. But it's unfortunate the election was jeopardized, and as such, we have no option other than to, pray and just wish that this government works out.
Current situation now, we are expectant for a change, for new policies that's going to lift the country's economy up.
For now, I have to go back to my drawing board and re-strategize and get myself prepared for the next 8 years on how to survive, because we don't really know what the new government holds for us.
These Abuja residents held the electoral process and set an agenda the incoming president should pursue.
By the grace of God, the government of Tinubu will succeed. He will do well. Tinubu will succeed. He will do well. The election that brought Tinubu to power was free and fair. There was no rigging in that election. He won the election convincingly. You understand what I'm telling you? And people will do well, by God's grace, they will do well.
The agenda of new government or old government are always the same thing. Service to the people. It's general, but it depends on which government they want to start with. People must learn to understand that this is the most fairest election we have had in this country.
The president-elect Bola Tinubu and the vice president-elect Kashim Shettima will take oath of office on May 29th. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
There's jubilation in Ilorin, the Kwara state capital, over the emergence of Bola Tinubu as Nigeria's president-elect. Some members of the All Progressives Congress took to the streets to celebrate the victory. They were joined by other residents who are elated with the election of Tinubu. They walked some major streets of Ilorin from the GRA to the popular post office and other roads amid songs and dance. They expressed optimism that the Tinubu presidency will address the needs of a common man. The convener of the rally believes the president-elect possesses the capabilities to turn around the fortunes of the country.
We are celebrating our principal, the man of the moment, the man that is destined by the Almighty God, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the thinker. He's not only the thinker, but the doer, the man we admire, a mentor, an achiever, a capacity man. He does from antecedents. If you go for an interview, they ask you, give us your CV, what's your years of experience? He has the years of experience. He is capable, he's competent, he has the ability, education, healthcare, and of course, this is going to be the end of ASU strike. I can guarantee you, I can promise you. This is a man that knows how to shop for people who can do things, and he will deliver on set goals. Employment will be provided. The new Naira currency will be readdressed, definitely but surely. I promise you that. Let's keep up hope. It's going to be a very rough journey, but a very assured journey. And let's also prepare our minds. What misses us does not belong to us, but what belongs to us will never miss us. The next line is Abdurrahman Abdurazak.
Labour Party says the incoming government will have legitimacy problems owing to the election that brought it to power. The vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Yusuf Dette Baba Ahmed, said this while addressing a press briefing in Abuja on Wednesday. He, however, enjoined supporters of the party to be calm and peaceful, saying they will challenge the outcome of the election in court. Noel Samson reports.
The Labour Party came third in the election with over 6 million voters trailing behind APC and PDP that came first and second. Ahmed Datti, however, said the elections is not a reflection of the will of the Nigerian voters.
As evident, the institutions of the state and leaders that were supposed to ensure the sanctity of the election, again, and as in the past, collaborated and colluded to subvert the will of the good people of Nigeria. Please be assured of our determination to fight the injustice that have been perpetrated on Nigerians through all legal and peaceful means. While painful, we implore you all to please remain peaceful and calm, as our fight and determination for a new Nigeria is just beginning.
He asked their supporters to be calm and assuring them of fight through all legal and peaceful means.
Let me sincerely thank all Nigerians for their belief in us and for coming out en masse to vote for the Labour Party and for the cause they believe in, the birth of a new Nigeria. We're immensely grateful to the youth, obedience, and all support groups, including Nigerians in diaspora, for their sacrifices, conduct, and commitment to a better Nigeria. It is our position that the purported results did not meet the minimum criteria of a transparent, free, and fair election. In addition to the most condemnable attacks, violence, voter intimidation, and suppression, the election was conducted in clear violation of agreed and promised INEC rules and guidelines, the Electoral Act 2002 as amended, and indeed the Nigerian Constitution.
Baba Ahmed then urged supporters to vote massively for the party during the governorship and state assembly elections on March 11th. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Reactions are still trending. Statement of former President Olusegun Obasanjo calling for cancellation of election results. Some academics in Jos, the Plateau State capital, say the statement is in bad faith and capable of throwing the country into violence. Ado Musa completes the report.
On Monday, the former president, in a message to President Muhammadu Buhari and the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, alleged that the coalition process of the presidential election was fraudulent and called for another fresh election in the country. Obasanjo's statement has continued to generate heated reactions from different quarters, with some lecturers kicking against the former president's position.
The person of Olusegun Obasanjo, who was the past leader of this country, for Obasanjo to call for the cancellation of this result, to me, is hypocrisy of the highest order. Because this is a man that conducted an election in 2007, okay? And the person that won that election, in the person of Alhaji Yaradua, himself confessed that that election was marred by a lot of irregularities. And it was on the basis of that Yaradua himself set up the Uwais committee to look at the electoral reformation of election, to look at the reformation of election in Nigeria. But Obasanjo, as a leader, at this time, that he should be calming the nerves of people, is the one calling for the cancellation of this election. To me, is the lowest that any person of his person can go.
I think this election is one of the fairest elections we've ever had in the country, considering a lot of things that have happened. Look at one of the major contestants of the ruling party. That's in person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who lost gallantly in his own constituency in Lagos. If not of a fair election, I don't think there was anything Labour Party not having even a councillor in Lagos, but then coming over a student from nowhere and see defeating Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If it were the former processes of the country, when we didn't have a very free and fair election, I think it would be very, very difficult for Bola Tinubu to be won in Lagos.
Many Nigerians, including President Buhari, accused the former president of trying to instigate crisis in the country, asking Nigerians to ignore him. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The police in Kaduna State have announced a ban on celebrations or rallies by supporters of political parties in the just concluded presidential and National Assembly elections. The ban was contained in a statement on Wednesday by the Police Public Relations Officer of the Kaduna State Command, DSP Muhammad Jaligay. Jaligay said the command has deployed and directed security agencies to ensure full enforcement. He advised persons with intent to violate the order to desist forthwith, as the command, in collaboration with other sister agencies, are fully prepared to deal decisively with such persons in accordance with extant laws. You're watching Trust News Updates. Coming up after the break. Promoting religious harmony. Do stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching Trust News Update. Here's a recap of our top stories. We told you that INEC presents certificate of return to President-elect and Vice President-elect in Abuja. We also told you that Labour Party heads to court to challenge election outcome. Moving to other stories, Adamawa State Government has suspended the activities of local and international non-governmental organizations throughout the state until the 15th of March 2023 when the elections are over. This was made known in a statewide broadcast by Governor Amadou Fintiri, who said it has been discovered that most non-governmental organizations are dabbling into politics in the name of providing humanitarian assistance to the people, and he warns that government cannot fold its arms and watch NGOs mislead the people and inject divisive tendencies into their psyche.
In furtherance of our desire to reorder the electoral behavior of our people and remove the influence of NGOs who have reduced the statutory mandate to that of one of vote buying machine, government has decided to suspend the activities of local and international non-governmental organizations throughout the state until the 15th of March 2023, when the elections are done. This is done in good faith and in furtherance of our desire to deepen our democracy and protect the humanitarian mandate of the NGO.
The gesture of a Christian that built a mosque for Muslims in Oshogbo, Osun State, came as a surprise to many and set tongues wagging within and outside the state. The issue is also generating controversy as to whether he will be rewarded by Allah for his good deed. Hamid Oyegbade, who visited the mosque, files this report.
Located close to the Oshogbo Central Market, traders and residents of the area observe daily 5 obligatory prayers at the old Alfa Oja Mosque. The old mosque had been there since time immemorial, and worshippers tried their best in sustaining the mosque to serve its purpose. The deputy chief imam of Oshogbo, Maruf Ishola, said a Christian who lived in the community during his childhood, Kayode Adegbulugbe, sought approval of Muslims to demolish the old mosque and rebuild a modern one for them.
He remember when he was young, he used to read inside the mosque. And when Allah enriched him, he remembered and he decided to demolish the existing mosque, the traditional mosque. He demolished it. Though the imam and some people refused him not to demolish it, but effectively he demolished it and he rebuilt another one.
One of the relatives of the donor, Muhyiddin Amzat, dismissed the insinuation that the donor and his late mother stayed in the mosque when his late father bullied his mother and sent them out of his house.
This thing, we no expect it, but as God said that this thing we hold, so we thank God about it because of that brother who will come do this thing for us.
On his reward from Allah, the deputy chief imam of Oshogbo said no one should judge the donor and that Allah will decide his case.
In case of a Christian who voluntarily built a mosque, his reward is in the sight of Almighty Allah. Only Almighty Allah can judge that one. That judgment belongs to Almighty Allah. But for a Muslim who built a mosque, as the reward is the sight of Allah, that Allah will build a house for him on the day of judgment.
The new mosque is fully furnished and worshippers are grateful and praying for the donor. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Oshogbo.
And with that, we move to the international scene, where Sudanese police have admitted a protester was shot and killed by its forces during a demonstration against military rule near the capital on Tuesday. Police said the shooting was an individual action that went against orders, adding that necessary legal procedures had been immediately taken against the policeman involved. The protester, identified as Ibrahim Masjoub, was killed in a Shar al-Nil area near Sudan capital. He became the 125th protester to be killed in weekly protests that were launched in the wake of the October 2021 coup, which plunged the country into crisis. The demonstrations against the military and economic woes have been met by a violent crackdown, with hundreds of activists also being rounded up under emergency laws. In sports, the Nigerian Premier Football League side Abia Warriors have been knocked out of the Federations Cup by amateur club Ahudia FC. Enyimba are now the favorites to win the Federation Cup in the state following their shocking exit. The 2022 Abia State Federations Cup champions were held to a 1-1 draw by the visitors at regulation time at the Umuahia Township Stadium. Abia Warriors lost 5-4 in the penalty shootout. The coach, Erasmus Onu-led side, which continued their quest for continental football in the NPFL. The Umuahia club are currently in 4th position on the Group B table. And finally, hundreds of people, including colleagues, family members, friends and other sympathizers, attended the funeral prayers of a renowned journalist in northern Nigeria working with Radio France International, Shehu Saulawa, which held on Tuesday at the Gwalaga Jumat Mosque in Bauchi State. Saulawa, who was a one-time popular broadcaster with the Hausa service of the BBC in the Northeast and Plateau State, died Monday at the age of 63 in Bauchi after a protracted illness. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.